Hello all heroes and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe, and today we are going to be doing a green ghost analysis, aka an analysis of currently the strongest character in my roster. But before we do that, we're going to do a couple little housekeeping items. First of all, as of the time of uploading this video, if my mental math is correct, there should be almost exactly 2 days left on the severe difficulty GD Ops, and 2 days left on that, and 3 days left on the low risk. So 2 days left on the severe risk, and 3 days left on the low risk, so we still have a little bit of time to get some loot out of that. Hopefully your severe risk GDAs have been going well. I have been doing quite well. I've gotten 1 immortal so far, which is not a crazy number. I mean, it's only 1, but hey, 1 immortal's better than no immortals. And I did get enough of these DNA sequencer coins to actually get Robot and Invincible from the lab, so that really worked out nicely. Plus an unholy amount of random gear and stuff to put into upgrades for other gear. So it has been a most delightful event, and we still have a few days left, so don't forget to throw your heroes in there and get some free loot. One more thing for those of you who are light spenders, we do have artifact bundles for the invisibility suit here. What that does, GDA cloaking device, that's an invisibility suit. GDA cloaking device. Basically, the hero using it becomes invisible for 3 seconds, and their critical damage is increased by 25% for the duration. The cloaking device is triggered every 22 seconds. Effectively, gives you an invisibility effect that makes you pretty much untargetable for a small chunk of time. I mean, 3 seconds, it ain't a lot, but it's better than nothing, especially if you're getting absolutely slammed and jammed by like a battle beast or something. This can save your life, and especially on a character like Invincible, it can mix very nicely. Now, speaking of invisibility, let's talk about the character that I have all the way up to Omnipotent Plus. Thank you very much, Alan Event. Green Ghost. She is coming at us as a support character. She's an Earth's Defenders character, so the same faction as characters like Adam Eve, as Invincible, as Omni-Man. So she will do more damage to Beyond Earth characters and take more damage from criminals. And as far as her factions go, she is a melee, a flying, does count as human, and the original Guardians of the Globe. Nothing too crazy there, just some of the usual stuff. And of course, support character with medium speed here, which I don't know if that's really been a factor in the game, really. I mean, I know certain characters are faster than others, but I mean, I'm not sure if that's really been relevant yet. I don't know. We'll see. And yes, I have not been leveling my characters evenly at all. She is dramatically stronger. I don't care. It makes me giggle. It makes me giggle that I have 1.6 million power on Green Ghost, and my next best is like 300k. Is it stupid? Yes. Is it giving me joy? Also yes. So, yeah. Do as I say, not as I do. Level up your characters a little more evenly. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna keep feeding up Green Ghost here. Speaking of that, let's talk about her skills. First of all, her main skill, Untouchable. Green Ghost flies fast through the battle, passing through the 2 enemies with the most buffs, and deals 150% damage with a 25% life leech. She stuns them for 0.5 seconds. While using this ability, she becomes invisible and immune, and then returns to the battlefield. So basically, she first of all gets invisibility and immunity, meaning she can't be targeted and she can't be damaged. First and foremost, so never a bad thing there. Then she basically is going to go after 2 enemies. Whoever has the most buffs on the enemy team, she'll go after them. If nobody has any buffs, then I imagine she would just hit 2 random enemies, dealing a nice chunk of damage here for a support character, and having some life leech, which I have not been too impressed with the life leech stat in this game, which is honestly not, it's not unusual for idle RPG games for Life Leech to be a bit over-exaggerated. It looks better on paper than it actually is, but hey, a little self-healing is never a bad thing. And then probably the biggest one here is the stun. It's only for 0.5 seconds, but it can throw some enemies off, and it's certainly better than nothing. Next here, when you get her to Elite Plus, we have Friends in Need. Green Ghost increases the max HP by 1% for each member of the original Guardians of the Globe in her team. If I'm not mistaken, this is just for her, basically. So, like, 1% for the fact that she is an original Guardians of the Globe, and then if you have a mortal in the team, this makes 2%, etc., etc. Not a massive buff, if we're being totally honest. It's pretty inconsequential. I mean, it does increase her healing further down the road, but it's nothing crazy. This, however, is really what makes her interesting. Hide and heal. Green Ghost teleports next to an ally with HP below 30% and makes them invisible for 3 seconds. In addition, she applies 5% of her own max HP as healing over time for 3 seconds. This ability has a 15-second cooldown. So basically, if she notices that an ally has dropped below that 30% health threshold, she'll just go over to him and pretty much make him untargetable for the next 3 seconds and apply some healing. That can save a character's life. I have won games. I've won some rough matches exclusively because she did something like put Invincible or Omni-Man in this invisibility state, and they just kept attacking without being targetable. That right there is essential to save some games every now and then. Plus a little bit of healing, which does get a little bit of use out of this. A little bit of healing, not a bad thing. Probably the most interesting thing is that the cooldown is short, only 15 seconds, which is not bad at all. If the characters can survive long enough, you can get some use out of this. This is a pretty dang worthy exceptional plus skill. And then, of course, her epic plus skill, Can't See Me. When Green Ghost's HP is below 20%, she becomes invisible for 3 seconds, boosting her ability charge by 25%. The ability has a cooldown of 20 seconds. So basically, when she drops below that threshold, she becomes untargetable for 3 seconds. It's not a perfect death save per se. It's not like when she goes down to 1 HP. If something just really slammed and jammed on her and dropped her from 100% to 0, then that just sucks to suck. But as long as it doesn't straight up nuke her, when she goes below that 20% threshold, she gets invisibility for 3 seconds, making her be able to do some damage and untargetable. So basically, this character is just hard to hit. She's just really hard to hit, and supports her team by making them hard to hit as well, providing kind of a pseudo death save to her allies here, and a pseudo death save to herself. I have absolutely loved using Green Ghost. I will say, she had some fierce competition in the supporting role though. As you can see, she is a support. She is usually ranked 3rd place behind Adam Eve as 2nd place, and Robot as 1st place. Now, Robot's understandable. Robot is the undisputed best healer in the game, mostly because he's the only consistent healer in the game, between his first ability and some other abilities that he has. Robot, yeah, that's pretty fair. Adam Eve, though, it doesn't help that I don't have my Adam Eve powered up at all. But I feel like Green Ghost actually gives Adam Eve a run for her money. A powered up Adam Eve probably would be stronger, that I do confess, because Green Ghost does lack a lot of the healing power that supports have. Her only healing is this hide and heal, and even then it's only on one character for a small amount of time. So I think that's what makes people rank Green Ghost kind of more in the 3rd place position, which, hey, bronze is still not bad. I personally think that she's a support with offensive capabilities because she can be invisible and just whacking away at enemies. As far as her best artifacts, Battle Hologram, I'd say, is probably a very good one for her. She can use her ability and just reduce the allies cooldown. Frankly, this thing is just a universally good thing. I mean, you really can't go wrong with this. GDA Cloaking Device is more of an offensive attacker artifact, and quite frankly, is a bit of an invisibility overkill. It's almost like you get too much of a good thing by giving her the GDA Cloaking Device, because she can go invisible so much on her own that this is kind of overkill, especially when you can put it on a character like Invincible or another attacker and keep them all nice and safe. As far as some other effects, you could give her the med kit to boost her one healing effect, but I think your return on investment would be pretty minimal there. Just throwing that out there. Neuralink chip's never a bad thing because, hey, stats are stats, and if you're fighting another green ghost, then that can be helpful. Anything else here? Everything else here is like, it's aight. This is just a defensive boost for your ranged heroes, which is not bad, actually. That one's okay. And then decreasing the defense of all Earth's Defender enemies by 8%. I mean, as long as you are fighting Earth's Defender enemies, then you can't go wrong with this one. But the best one to use is probably going to be this battle hologram, with everything else being more so on the situational side. It's like, especially things like the Neuralink chip and Damien Darkblood's notes. They're great artifacts in the right situation. If you're fighting another green ghost, this is great. If you're fighting Earth's Defenders, this is great. If you're not, they're borderline useless, except for, you know, being a stat ball. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind there. Just to kind of throw in a battle here, I am a bit overpowered here, mostly because of her. It is ironic that probably half of my 2 million power is currently made up of just green ghost. It's not unusual for her to be the last man standing. But hey, I think it's funny. See, look at her zipping around. Look at her zipping around. She doesn't even care. She doesn't even care. But it certainly doesn't hurt that I have her at freaking Omnipotent Plus. Oh, that's a fun little lag spike. Oh, there we go. Everything happening at once, but that's okay. So, you know, slightly skewed results on my side here, I do confess, but hey, it's worked out for me so far, so yeah. I am not complaining. Look at all that Lowe's red paint that he just spilled. He must have been on a home project. Quite a bold color for a living room, but that's okay. So, yeah, that is Green Ghost explained for all of you to enjoy. Like I said, she gets a bit of a bad rap, mostly because her competition as a support is fierce. But if you do power her up, you won't go wrong, honestly. So that is all we have for today. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of her. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe. Always helpful, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.